Hey everyone, there is Attackos. Today I'm bringing you a very special video I put a lot of effort into. This is my top 20 solo experiences in board gaming ever, as of 2021. I plan to revisit this list annually to see what has changed. This list includes not only pure solo games, but all games that can potentially be played solo. This is why I call this my list of the best solo experiences and not solo games. A few small disclaimers before we get started. This is all my opinion. It is very possible that your list looks completely different. And that is great. Let me know in the comments. It'd be great to get to know your favorite solo games. Maybe they can become my most favorite games as well. Also, there are a lot of games with good solo experiences that I didn't include in the list because I haven't played them often enough yet to warrant them a place in this list. But let me tell you, some of those games are really fun and they might just make the list next year. Alright, without much further ado, this is my list of the 20 best solo experiences in board gaming, as of 2021. My number 20 of my most favorite solo experiences is Welcome to Your New Home. It is a very good flip and write, even though it's not my favorite, but I really like three main things here. The theme is pretty cool, the math of filling in the street numbers is really fun, as is constructing fences, pools and gardens. Also, it's quite accessible. Yes, it's not as simple as, for example, Silver and Gold, but I'm sure that you could still play this game with almost anyone. But the best thing about the game is that it plays solo pretty much as well as in a multiplayer game. A very solid entry into the genre of roll and writes or flip and writes. My rank 19 is Welcome to Dino World. To be fair, I have only played the print and play version yet, but the boxed version will arrive here pretty soon. Maybe it already has arrived when this video is uploaded. Mainly the theme is great. Just give me a game with dinosaurs and I'm quite likely to enjoy the game even if it's just for the theme. But I also like the gameplay. It's much more puzzly than Welcome to, and I love a good puzzle in a board game. That also makes the game slightly more complex, but not by much. And if you can get the print and play version, it's very easy to get into the game. My number 18 is Skulls of Sedlec. Spoiler, this is not my most favorite button shy solo experience, so you can expect more of those in this list. Skulls of Sedlec has a very interesting theme. Did you know that the game is based on the Sedlec Ossuary, a Roman Catholic chapel located in the Czech Republic? The ossuary is estimated to contain the skeletons of between 40,000 and 70,000 people, whose bones have, in many cases, been artistically arranged to form decorations and furnishings for the chapel. It might be a bit morbid, but it does look quite impressive, I need to say. The game itself is a very good example of a focused and simple yet very challenging puzzle. The game is as good solo as it is as a multiplayer game. I've backed the entire collection on Kickstarter, so you should be able to expect quite a few playthroughs of the game next year. My number 17 is A Gentle Rain. I'm surprised myself that I put the game in my top 20, but it does make total sense. It is such a calm solo experience without the need for deep strategies, extreme min-maxing or tough decisions. You merely turn over a tile and try to fit it pretty much anywhere. Yes, you can aim for a high score, but that is not what the game is about. If I want to play a game that is totally relaxing, there's no better game than A Gentle Rain. Also, the game can be played very well at a 2-player count on a rainy afternoon with a good cup of tea. Or scotch, if you play it in the evening. My number 16 is It's a Wonderful World. This is a preliminary ranking since this is one of the newest solo games in my collection. It is very likely that its position will change the more I play it. Also, I have only played solo so far. I still need to experience it at higher player counts. This game is a very tight drafting and resource management game. I like the satirical nature of the theme, but it's still just tacked on. This is a Euro resource cube pusher that the designers could have pretty much applied any theme to. Still, it's an incredibly tight puzzle game that is very tough to win. I'm not very good at it, and I still put it in my top 20. That says a lot about the quality of the game. Number 15 of my most favorite solo game experiences is Canvas. This is a game I backed on Kickstarter, but I think it will hit retail soon. Maybe it already did. It's a very beautiful game with great mechanic that I haven't seen like this before. In order to create one of the 3 paintings you need to win, you need to combine 3 artwork cards. These are transparent and lead to a unique painting with a unique name. This way each game there's different artwork to discover. Also the puzzle aspect with the goals you can mix and match however you would like to is great. The 2 solo modes also include an AI that keeps on taking cards just like a real player would in a 2-player game. A wonderful game with a very solid solo mode. Number 14 is my most favorite game with a roll or flip and write mechanic. It's Cartographers. I really enjoy the theme of this one. You're a cartographer filling in a map of your surroundings, and it's just really fun doing so. I usually fill everything in using colored pencils, which makes the game look just that much better. Finally, a roll and write where it makes sense to keep the sheets since they are very decorative. A great game, and I'm looking forward to try out the sequel sometime soon. Maiden's Quest is my number 13. It is probably my most favorite in-hand card game. Yes, it's not perfect. The rulebook is pretty horrible, and the game strongly depends on luck. But the theme and the countless combinations make this a great game in my eyes. I always take 1 or 2 pre-assembled packages with me wherever I go. This way I can always play this game wherever I might be. Despite its flaws, I really like this game. My number 12 is not a solo game per se, but a multiplayer game with a solo mode. It's On the Rocks. I have not only an in-depth review of the game on my channel, but also a playthrough, but that applies to a lot of games in this list. This game is wonderful. It's an incredibly relaxing game that you can even play when you're exhausted from work. Also, the components and theme are just great, and the solo mode works just great and is really fun. Unfortunately, the solo mode is a bit too dependent on luck for my taste, which is why On the Rocks is only ranked 12th. Number 11 is the next button shy game, Ugly Griffin Inn. This is a game from the Simply Solo series, and it's a really good one at that. I like the theme a lot, but the puzzle it presents is even better. This game is hardly prone to analysis paralysis, since you don't see all cards at once, which I like a lot. Even better is the fact that the game changes pretty much every turn and you need to adjust your strategy constantly. I can highly recommend this for any solo gamer. My number 10 is yet another button shy game. It's Tussie Mussie, designed by Elizabeth Hargraves, who also designed the wonderful Wingspan. Tussie Mussie is a multiplayer game, but it also works very well as a solo game. Its main mechanism is I cut you choose, and I really like it. And this is a great puzzle, because there never is a perfect way. Sometimes you just need to give the opponent a good card, because you need the other one for your collection. A really great game I almost always take with me wherever I go. Rank number 9 is Wingspan. This is such a great game, one of my absolute favorites, but you know that if you follow my channel and my socials closely. It's a very good engine builder with beautiful art the wonderful Beth Sobel contributed to. The solo mode is also very good, but it's not my most favorite solo experience because the game does need a bit of time to get set up. Also, the randomness of the cards can be an issue while playing against the automat, since the AI receives a lot of points, no matter the cards that are available, even though you might be struggling, leading to a potentially unfair disadvantage for the player. A very good solo experience, just not the best. Please finally release the big box for this version so I can fit all the expansions in one box without having to cram it in there. I hope that I will be able to get a hold of the English version of the game sometime so I can play for you on the channel. I think that would be really fun. My number 8 is a very new game. A beautiful game that I just reviewed a little while ago. It's Cascadia. It's shaping up to be my most favorite gateway game. It's simple to teach and even has a family mode to make it even easier to grasp. Despite its simplicity, it has a really nice tactical and puzzly layer. It never is too demanding, but always engaging. I really love this game and its solo mode is really well made. Additionally, the game has achievements making it highly replayable. Rank 7 is One Deck Dungeon Forest of Shadows. I'm also including the first installment in this series, but this version is the one I got physically. Also, it's the better one in my opinion. This is a pure solo game, although you could also play cooperatively. In this game, you take your hero into a dungeon, defeating monsters, descending deeper and increasing your skills by being able to roll more dice to cover the different boxes. Rolling this many dice is incredibly satisfying. Also, you can play a little campaign with unlocking specific permanent skills, which makes this highly replayable, combined with all the different classes you can choose from. Yes, you can expect videos for this game on my channel rather soon. My number 6 is Death Valley, yet another button shy game. If you've seen my numerous playthroughs of this game on my channel, you should know how much I love this game. It is also one of the games I almost always take with me. It's a very well designed push your luck game with only 18 cards. The game plays as well as a 2-player account as it does solo. The solo AI poses a nice puzzle since you can't predict its actions. The game also has a great difficulty curve. It's challenging but never unfair. I can't stress enough what a great game this is. One of my most favorite button shy games ever. My number 5 is Parks. Again, this game was designed as a multiplayer game that, by the way, is stunningly beautiful, has incredible components, has very fun mechanics and a great insert. Not only is the game box not larger than it needs to be, the solo mode is really well done. You play the way you also do in a multiplayer game. Controlling the AI's ranches is very easy and does not distract you from your own game. It's a great game to play solo, even though it sadly is points based and doesn't have a win-lose condition. If I can ever get this in English somehow, I will also play it on the channel for you. Getting close to my top 3, Everdell is my rank 4. It's not only one of the most beautiful games in existence, it also is an incredibly good engine builder and worker placement game. Its design is very tight, but there are several ways to build up your engine and take the victory. The solo mode here is incredible. You play the game as usual and controlling the AI is very easy. Additionally, the solo mode has 3 different difficulty settings that vary greatly in difficulty. I still haven't beaten the higher difficulties, and to top it all off, the game is not score-based but has a clear win condition. An incredible solo experience, but there's 3 more games on this list. My number 3 almost made it to the very top of the list because it is just that good. The reason why it only made number 3, which is still a great spot, mind you, is that I don't play it as often as I'd like to. I'm speaking about Dawn of the Zeds 3rd edition. This game is probably the most tense board game I've ever played. At the beginning it's all quite calm and you have all the time in the world to come up with a big strategy, but it doesn't take long until you're at the edge of your seat and somehow trying to hold out until the entire event deck has been resolved. This game is extremely difficult, but it's never unfair. If you play your cards right, you almost always have the chance to turn the tide, even if pretty much every game will be extremely close. This game does take a few hours to play and is quite complex, especially at the higher levels. But I promise you, it's totally worth it. This is one of the games that will probably never leave my collection, and although it's a good cooperative experience, it's an even more excellent solo game. If I can ever get this game in English, I really would love to show it to you on the channel even several times, maybe even with a video for each level. My number 2 is one of the greatest games I've gotten to know this year, and I don't know why it took me that long. Aeon's End. This is one of my absolute favorites regarding cooperative games. I mean, it's a cooperative deck builder with different bosses that completely alter the game experience. And when I say completely, I definitely mean it. Additionally, all the different heroes, spells, artifacts and crystals make each game even more varied. And you can expand this game much further with all the expansions that are available. This is a game you will need to play very often in order to see everything. And the best thing, not only does the solo mode have a win-lose condition, there also is a true solo mode where you play with one hero only instead of having to play several heroes as it is the case in most other games with a solo mode. There's no additional overhead, you just play the game normally. What an amazing game and an amazing solo experience. I unfortunately don't own the game in English. I'm currently looking for an English version, including all the expansions, because I could make a really great series on this channel. So I hope you will be able to see a series on my channel in the near future. My number 1 solo game as of this year probably won't surprise you. It's Under Falling Skies. I have already published 5 playthroughs on my channel and I will definitely continue the series soon. Not only does the game have a very simple premise with very deep tactical layers, it also has a lot of variety with all the modules you unlock during the campaign. You can play this game at least 20 times until you have seen everything. Yes, the gameplay always stays pretty much the same, but the conditions change your tactics quite drastically. I'm serious when I say that this is an excellent solo game which deserves to be at the top spot on my list. Well, you've made it. You now know my top 20 solo games of all time as of 2021. It's possible that this list will change during the course of next year and I'm excited to revisit the list at the end of 2022. But now it's your turn. What are your favorite solo games of all time? Let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll learn of a game I didn't know before. That would be great. Alright, thank you very much for watching if you're still doing so. Why don't you check out the other videos on my channel? Also, this video took a very long time to make. If you enjoyed it, why don't you let me know by liking and commenting and maybe even telling your friends. I'd love it if more people saw my list of the top 20 solo experiences, in my opinion. Alright, that's all from me today. I'll see you on the channel. Take care everyone, and cheers.